What's going on, HR pros of the world? My name is Joey Price. I am the president and CEO of Jumpstart HR. I'm joined by one of my awesome teammates here, Maria Thorpe, who's also a member of Jumpstart HR. And we want to talk about something that I think has been a struggle, not even just this past year, but I would say from the pandemic, it sort of bubbled up this idea of needing community in HR and needing that safe space online. But before we get into all of that, Maria, feel free to introduce yourself and tell people about who you are and, maybe what you love about HR.
Oh, great. Thanks, Joey. For all of you who do not know me, I am Maria. I'm an HR consultant here for Jumpstart. I have been in HR for quite some time. I stopped counting once I hit my 5-year mark because I was really excited that I made it 5 years in HR. But I like to refer myself as like a true generalist at heart. I love everything with HR. I need my hands in everything. But I would probably say my favorite thing is like helping with the employee experience and making sure things are easy for the employee, making sure their onboardings are the first day, the best possible day, and all those feelings of starting a new job. So I'm definitely with COVID, HR has definitely changed and shifted.
Yeah, and it's shifted with COVID, and I would say even before that, right? You've been on the team before that, and thank you, publicly for your yes and commitment to being on this team. It's been a long journey together, and I know will continue to be a fun one. But one thing that we have at our company is that we're remote. And so that's all the more reason to want and need community, because in many organizations, you have HR who's alone because even though they're going into an office, they're not surrounded by HR people that they can just pick up the phone and talk to or walk into their office. But, you add on the component of us being remote. We don't have those colleagues in HR or otherwise to physically talk to. And so there's that need for some dedicated community. And it used to be that I miss the old days of Twitter. Were you active on Twitter back in the days with like Twitter chats, and when Sherm had big Twitter chat? I think it was Next Chat, and we used to have different companies that would have their HR chats. Do you remember those days?
So I remember the ones that popped up in the news. I was not a Twitter fan. I never owned a Twitter account. But, I did, speaking of community, just like online platforms of connecting with other people, things like Facebook. I'm a big Facebook user, and Instagram, also a huge Instagram user, but just connecting online. And for someone like me, Joe, you mentioned like in the office, right? I'm a very high extrovert person where, being remote can sometimes be a struggle because I need people, I need connection. So I do try to keep one day where I don't have any meetings, so I'm not interrupted, so I can get some work done. But other than that, like I kind of look forward to my meetings because I'm getting human interaction.
Yeah. Remote work, it can be lonely sometimes. And for all of the benefits that exist out there, we would be lying to say that we would be lying if we didn't say it came with challenges. So yeah, I think that we kind of set the tone for why community matters, and what we'll talk about today is going into our proposed solution for helping HR find a place, find a space, find a community that we can all rally around and just connect, become better people, share our frustrations, become healthier. I think that we've seen social networks start with, this attempt of gathering and making it about community. But as they've evolved, I feel like many of them have gone away from that. And it's really more about how do we keep people on our site as opposed to how do we add wholesome, healthy, valuable content. And so we want to fill that need. So let's do an icebreaker real quick. You know, we love icebreakers here. When you think about some of the work that you've done here at Jumpstart, what's one HR challenge that you faced this year?
I would have to say there's been a lot of discussion and talk around like burnout and wellness. I think that would probably be the biggest challenge of you're in a remote environment. And if you're in HR, you are most likely sometimes on a lonely island. So where does HR go when they need HR, right? And they'll go to like maybe online platforms. If somebody is close enough for a local chapter, they can go to local chapters and gathers. And sometimes that's in person, sometimes it's virtual. But if you're in a place like me, your closest chapter is an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
And so where do you go and not get burned out or, still fight the good fight of when you're working with your executives or working with your team and they're like, well, I don't understand why HR needs to do it this way. And you have to give them this laundry list of reasons of like, do you want to break the law?
Right. Let's start there, right? Do you want to go to jail? Do you want to fine?
Right, exactly. Do you want to risk this? And if you do, by all means, then it's against my recommendation, right? So, and having those kind of conversations, dealing with disgruntled employees, trying to help them, it is emotionally taxing. It can drain you as much as it can sometimes, energize you. But I think because of companies are no longer in one location, they're in multi-states. So filling out those multi-state rules and just working. It's so easy to spend your whole day remotely working. As soon as you get up, you grab your coffee and you're immediately on working. And as soon as you close, it could be 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night because it's easy, right? It's in your house. So I think the biggest challenge I've seen is burnout, wellness in general of taking care of yourself. And a lot of discussion of like, I'm no longer killing myself for a job, right? We also hear our employees say that a lot too. And we don't, as HR professionals, we don't want our employees to get to that point where they kill or like working really hard, killing themselves for this job where there's no rewards and benefits. So really finding that balance. Joy, what would you say is your HR challenge for the year?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I could definitely, double down on the burnout issue being a real thing. I mean, even the U.S. Surgeon General has said that burnout and toxic workplaces is now a U.S. Epidemic, and it needs to be addressed. I think an HR challenge that I'll say though, just to add something different to it, is just those one-off questions that come up about like, hey, I need to do this employee transition or termination in this state. We are of this size. This person is in a protected class. How do I do this? Because we're not terminating people every day, so we might be a little rusty, but how can we handle this so that it's done with care and it's done the right way? So really, I'd say a challenge has been helping those companies that have experienced, reductions in force or the need to terminate and lay off. That's been a major challenge. And I'll say, internally, we have the collective support of one another. We have, a Slack and we have a help channel. And I just couldn't imagine going through those cases alone without at least bouncing the ideas off of other trusted HR pros and getting that sense of confidence that, okay, I think we're in the right direction by going this way. And so that's just one challenge that I've experienced, that I felt really good knowing that I have this HR community of our team, but what could happen if that's, 20, 200, 2,000, 20,000 HR pros here in one place who have that experience and don't mind helping you to get that. And that's what we want to create at HRU, is that place for people who are in HR who might be, in yours, like you mentioned, who might be an hour and a half away from a local HR chapter, or in my case where I'm in a town with the chapter. I need those answers. I can't wait until the next chapter. I need that like by end of day. right? Or end of week. And so whether it's through geography or a time crunch, right? Like having those answers when you need it, having that community when you need it is so important. And we don't have that. We don't have that space. So I wanted to be a part of the solution and create that through HRU.
I'm excited for HRU. I agree. I mean, it's nice to have of like, hey, my client's thinking about doing this. I don't know if this is right. Can we talk about it? Or, you see questions of like, hey, I'm experiencing this and Google's not helping me because everything contradicts itself. So what do I do?
Yep. Yep.
Right. So, and getting, people who are experienced and people who have been there, done that. Also a place for new HR professionals to come to and vent or like, I remember my first HR job, it was a department of one, it was a lonely island. But I also said to myself, is this HR everywhere? Is what I'm experiencing now like this in every company's? Sometimes it's a yes. Sometimes, depending on the circumstances, it's no. There
Yep.
are really great companies out there who do things right. But having an HR community to be there and to say, hey, I need help, or hey, what do you guys think of this? Or hey, like I'm thinking about transitioning into HR and how do I get there? And just providing support and feedback is really key.
Yeah. Yeah. And we had said this earlier, but there are many places where you are the lone HR person. So HR department of one. So there is no community within your organization. But even if you are working in a larger HR team, maybe you don't always have that best relationship with the team, or maybe everyone's doing a different function. So they wouldn't have the same, perspective or experience as you. So we wanted to create something where everybody's got, helpful support. So without further ado, I think we should jump into this. We should jump into HRU and what it is. So just to let people know, if you're watching this during the season of Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Giving Tuesday, we're going to be running a promotion through, I think, the end of November and maybe through December, where you'll actually get to check this out. And there are some incentives for doing it. We'll have a QR code at the end of this that you can scan and be taken to that offer. But we'll also have the link below where you can just click on it. But I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen and give kind of like a sneak peek of what it's all about. So inside HRU, this is uh, the home function. This is how it looks when you first join. So over here on the left hand side is your navigation. So you won't see this part. This is kind of like admin view. So let me, only visible to the host, but you'll have your home base, right? You can scroll over and see who's online right now. So we've got a few folks who are online from the team. And then you have your navigation of welcome. This is where we greet you and give you everything you need to know about getting started. So you maybe only have to check that out once or twice. But chat is the main feed. This is the main hub. This is what allows you to see and get plugged into everything that's happening. And of course, you're seeing the behind the scenes start of it. But as we get more members invited and involved, you'll see more. But the feed is where you go to chat and connect, drop gifts, so on and so forth. And then discovery here is going to be, it's like a dashboard to see all of the topics at a glance that have happened, that are recent, and that will guide you to where you want to go. And then we've got the events. There aren't any events in here, but let me show you if I jump down to wellness and HRU, which is how are you? In the events, we are going to be doing two things every week. There's Coffee and Connections, which is a weekly member meet and greet. So that's our way of socializing, networking, having that connection. And then on Wednesdays, we're going to have a step challenge. And that's just kind of a way to invite us to be active, combat, hump day with getting some steps in. And it'll allow us to do that and hold each other accountable to maybe hitting our goals. And so whatever that looks like, whether it's walking around the office, whether it's walking the dog, whether it's walking around the house, just getting some steps in and feeling active and refreshed. And there will be more things coming in that area. But Maria, I mean, you're in it, but what is some of this? Are you excited about any of this? Anything stand out more than the other? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm really big on like the caffeine connections. And the reason why is again, I'm a very high extrovert. So if you're anything like me, I mean, I can only scroll social media for so much, right? So being on online and active in a group is something that's going to feed me and make me feel whole and connect with other HR professionals. Of course, coffee, I usually drink coffee all day long. But just connecting and just taking a minute away from the chaos and just be like, how are you doing today? What's going on in your life? Or like, what are you happy about? What are you sad about? And just kind of like really connect with other people. I'm
Yeah.
super excited about that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I'm thrilled too because we take for granted sometimes the energy that we receive from chatting with people who are working on the same problems, experiencing the same things. We have our podcast while we were working, which I'll talk about that and how it relates to this network in a little bit. But, you know, we talk about topics day in and day out, uh, whether it's how should HR show up when, the world is at war, or hiring felons, and, what's the plan for hiring individuals who might be reentering into the workforce. We talk about these things from our perspective and from the news, but when things happen in culture and in the news that we need to care about, it's helpful for us to all chat and say, well, for example, Maria, we were talking earlier offline about like student loans. Like, it's helpful to chat and say, okay, well, what are you guys doing for student loan? Are you doing anything? How are we helping employees? And then, who here is really doing a 4-day work week, and how's it really going for you? Like, this is going to be the place where we can connect and talk about those things. And it's not, highlighting our team. It's really highlighting you and your experiences. And that's why it's HRU, because it's all about you and the value you bring to our field and to the community. And so coffee and connections, that's just going to be one way that we connect virtually. But there's vision and goal to do city meetups, to be at SHRM conferences and have like our own events. There's just so many ways that we can take this from offline to in real life, and we want you to be a part of it.
Agreed. I just have to laugh of like the student loans. I'm thinking to myself, like, they're never going away. Like, when will I ever be done?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there have been government attempts to help, but
Yeah.
we are where we are. So yeah, I think what I'd like to do is maybe go through each section and talk about kind of why each section exists and what you can experience, and maybe it's not about what you see now, but envision what you can help it become if you want to be a part of it. So seeking about going back to the whole idea of there being the good old days of social media. I remember back when I, joined the social media community of HR folks. It had to have been somewhere around 2010, 2011. So we're talking like a decade ago, right? But there was such a vibrant presence of HR thought leaders who were chatting, tweeting, Facebooking, LinkedIning, having blogs, sharing blogs. We would come together for chats. So we were dedicated for an hour answering questions, responding to each other. And it was so great that every time we would go to an HR conference, it would feel like a family reunion because these people that you see online, you now get to hug them, high five them, grab a drink with them. And, those days I think are gone because nowadays many social medias are, they do add value, but I think the value that they add is less about community connection and more about, solving business problems like, for example, LinkedIn. If you need to hire, if you need to recruit, you need to be on LinkedIn. But I don't know about you, Maria. I get so tired of the spam bots, of the spam messages, the guilt that they try to lay on you of like, did you see my message? When really it's an autoresponder that they trigger for 3 days. Like, I'm just like overwhelmed and I just tap out because it's social media that doesn't feed me. It doesn't make me better. It just drains me. I don't know how you feel
Right.
about it.
No, I feel that. I have to laugh because, Joey, we have a partnership with Bamboo HR here at Jumpstart. We do. And I just remember seeing like this message of like, hey, we want you to start using Bamboo HR. Can this be a platform? And I'm thinking to myself, they don't even have an option to respond because it's two options. Either tell me more or I'm not interested. But in reality, I really want to tell this person of like, you clearly don't know because we're already partners. We're already partners in your
Yes.
business. We sell your we sell your services or we, try to get our clients, discounted rates because we are partners, right? And so I just have to laugh. The other thing too is it's not it's really great, but I'm finding so many people have different opinions, and that's lovely. I'm so excited to hear these opinions. But it gets to an area of where like it's I don't know how to say this, like not too much, but it's like really sometimes it's really contradictory. You have the two radicals and two extremes.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, we're all just trying to get along. We're all just trying to try this problem to solve this problem, right? And even same thing with LinkedIn. It's about I'm either looking for a job or hey, I have this problem, or like, hey, look at what we're doing over here. And there's not much of a community there
Yeah.
versus I don't know what we were talking a little bit, and I was kind of reflecting on the fact of my job as an HR professional and how I got here, and it started by joining a local chapter. That's how it started, and now because we're a remote workforce, it's online and joining other groups and just connecting with people and like, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. Does anyone experience the same thing? And it's so glad to hear I am too, and I can help you navigate it. Or no, but I know what you should do. Or, just like something's in the water, Joey.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I agree with you with LinkedIn. I have probably like a message a day that is like, hey, we think, would you be interested in our platform? Or would you like this? I'm like, no, 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 I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah, and it seems like the more you try to, limit like, I've stopped paying for the premium. I'm like, don't bother me, but I'm still getting these messages. I'm still somehow on people's radar for those type of spam. And it's so funny, right? Because I'll get LinkedIn requests and don't worry, I've got a issue with a lot of these. So we're just talking about LinkedIn right now. But it'll say, hey, I'm trying to connect with fitness trainers and I'm wondering if you'd be interested in connecting. And I'm like, what about my profile says I'm a fitness trainer? So
Yeah.
that's a telltale sign that you're not really here to connect with me. You're here to push a product. And quite frankly, it's a product that I probably can't benefit from. So you shouldn't even be worried about selling it to me. But because we have these algorithms and ads and bots that make it easy for people to just it's not even their time that's being wasted. It might be their dollar, but it's not their time being wasted. They're just kind of like shotgun blasting the whole LinkedIn community. and trying to get them to sign up for their thing. So it can be uh, overwhelming, and you have the fatigue of having to click no, not interested, or sending a message and saying you're reaching the wrong person. And I don't know, that's quite exhausting. And you mentioned, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Joey, I was just gonna say, just scrolling on social media can be just a challenge. I mean, with HRU, you can be part of a community and still throughout your workday. Many of us are like working, and then at the end of the day, we start streaming on, our phones or our things. And with HR community, you can just pop in anytime, see what's going on, and you can incorporate it as part of your workday, as part of like your working community. They'll have it on in the background, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Especially like our coffees and connections, or like, they can be working sessions of like, hey, so you're not alone, so you're not isolated, especially for our departments of one. Come join our event, we'll just see there, we'll just chat and we'll have a working session. And I think those are really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, they're incredibly powerful. And if you can, for example, Maria, hypothetically, you're working with a customer, right? And they have some issue. And you can say, oh, we just talked about this in my coffee and connections. And I know 3 other companies that are going through this. Let me reach out to their HR pro and get some details. And I can tell you how other people are working on that same challenge too. That's the power of HRU, is being able to perform your job better because other people want to help you win. And you can't put a price on that. That's that's the platinum rule, and it's good karma. And it doesn't happen unless you're showing up and being in these spaces.
You know what, Joey? That's a really good piece, because we had a client that they outgrew us. It's a bittersweet moment when our clients outgrow us, but sometimes they need in-house HR. And what's a better way to promote the people we know for these positions? And it took one social media post to fill this company's position. And I think that's probably my proudest thing for this year, of like, I filled a position by one social media post. But it was in my HR community. It wasn't just like something I posted on my Facebook. It was specifically to my HR community. I got a lot of responses. I started out to be the great recruiter responding, and then I just got overwhelmed with the position was filled. But it was really great, because I'm like, I now have the confidence of like, my client's going to be in great hands because they have a very solid HR professional.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the power of community. That's the power of knowing where you can go and get results. And that's what HRU is all about. We've talked about LinkedIn, right? So let's talk about maybe X, and AKA Twitter, AKA whatever Elon Musk wants to call it. I think that it's become a place where what you were alluding to is, those polarizing opinions, the bot accounts, the troll accounts, the spam account, fake posts. I don't want to use the word fake news, because that's a whole different, story for another day. But fake posts. And it's there used to be a lot of community there from the HR standpoint, but a lot of pros that I know have just taken a definitive stand to say, no, I'm not going to show up on a platform where I have to pay you money to prove that I am myself, or I'm not going to pay money for a social community of a person owned by a person who doesn't, believe the same things that I believe. And so it's pushed a lot of good people away from the platform. And I'm just like, okay, well, let's all come together. Let's just come on HRU, because we're not going to have those same challenges. We're not going to have those same worries. But you said you weren't a big Twitter user or X user. Why aren't you there? Because you're a great HR pro. Why aren't you on Twitter? What is it about it that doesn't attract you or draw you?
Oh man. Well, Joey, to be honest, I'm not a super social media fan. I will scroll through Facebook. I will scroll through Instagram, waste many hours on such things. I'm not much of a poster. I like to sit and eat the popcorn and see what's going on, or seeing other people's dramas. But the things with the tweet, I did create a account one time, but I never got enough interaction or engagement. It was like posting and then like it's very limited in your characters. So it's like a tweet, right? Like you're only supposed to limit. And I'm like, I didn't really have anything valuable to say or contribute. And I was like, it's just another platform I would have to like maintain. And I just wasn't intrigued enough. I was not intrigued enough. I mean, I enjoyed the showdown between, what was it, Wendy's and McDonald's, I think, where like they tweeted back and
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah,
forth.
yeah. But it's good for those moments. Yeah, those
Yeah.
cultural moments. Yeah.
But I just don't think it's the platform to have like meaningful discussions and like meaningful interactions, unlike other platforms. Like LinkedIn's platform was for professional networking, right?
Yeah.
Facebook is, Facebook came and you connect. That's how I actually met my brother. So I have a half brother that I knew was out in the world, but he found me through Facebook. So it's just, and I think maybe that's why I like Facebook a little bit more personal connection. But like I can post something on Facebook and I can just get a lot of likes. It's just different type of scenario. And I'm not limited to what I have to say. If I want to write a whole book, I get to do that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so let's go into I guess, the anatomy of HRU and show people what they can do with this. And Maria, you might be seeing some of this like for the first time too. So I'm happy to walk through this as like a tutorial. So, okay, we saw this page. But so HRU fundamentally, like the name is the name HRU. It's not an acronym for something. It's just HRU because you as the individual are in HR and we want you to be a part of this. So it's HRU. But underneath it, there are different categories of HRU that we want to talk about day in and day out because they all add value to your life. So this segment, HR updates, which is the first HRU, that's where we'll share news and trends. We post a podcast every week. You'll not only have an opportunity to see the podcast first, but you can actually be invited to the recording room when we're doing this recording. So whether you want to engage with us through chat or you want to just be in the know of new topics before they're released, you have that ability by being a part of HRU and even helping us shape the conversations that we talk about. So this is where you would go for sort of compliance, news, trends, updates, things that you need to know for the betterment of being a well-versed HR pro. The other piece is how are you? And this is our place where it's all about health, wellness. Maria is great internally at Jumpstart for wellness challenges. So this might be one of the places where she's at the most because she shares helpful resources that help us eat right, understand different, months and what they mean and how we should celebrate. But how are you is for your mental, financial, physical health. And we'll have different events as well as the Wusa Wall for you to come and be healthier. This is where our whole self sessions recordings will end up, so you can browse through those. And it's just a great place to maybe if you have a 15-minute break and you want to have a meditation, we can post the meditation for you that you can just review and look at in your own time.
Joey, do you remember that time we actually did that? I invited the group of like, we're going to do a mindfulness meditation. And it was about a 5-minute meditation, but everybody was like so refreshed.
Yeah. So you're telling me you want your own weekly meditation event? We can make it happen.
We can try. We can try. Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we have the power to do that there. HR University, this is where you can ask HR for help. So fellow community members, you can ask questions, whether it be about compliance, whether it be about an issue that you're facing, whatever the case may be. This is where we got you covered there. We are going to post a course once a month that will be SHRM certified for recertification. So as being a part of the community here, you get that bundled into the experience. And then, we'll share templates, resources as well that will help you in doing your role. The other piece of that is HRU, which is for professional development. So we've got this prompt question here. How are you using Gen AI at work? So this is going to be where we talk about building you and the skills that you need as a professional. So maybe it's not always about the HR topic. Maybe it's about, maybe there's a book that we want to read together. Who Killed Change, Ideal Team Player, self-development things that we can do and do it together. So there's a lot of cool things we can do. And I'm going to go up to chat really quick just to show you all the things that are possible on a feed or on a post. So of course I could type, but I could do a GIF if I wanted to just post, happy Friday. What's up, everybody? And so I could do that. All right. I can also, if I wanted to do a poll, and you could do this as well, questions, multiple choice, hot and cold, the percentages, sort of like what we do on LinkedIn, but you're not competing with the algorithms for being seen and visible. So you can really get value from your questions that you ask. And then the other things you can do, you can go live. So if you want to do a live stream to talk about a topic, and then you can add photos, videos, or files. So if there's a document that you want to share that you're really proud of, post it to the group. So there's a lot of fun things that we can do with this that I want to see you. I want to see you in the room. I want to see you a part of our community. I want to see you engaged. And it's for your benefit as much as it is for everyone else's to be there. And I think it's great from a professional development spend. So if you have budget for professional development, because we have the trainings, we have the courses, but then also the community piece as well, so that you can be an excited, invigorated, and refreshed HR pro. Maria, what do you think? I know we gotta close this out soon, but are you excited about HRU?
I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to see everyone on the platform. Please join. I can't wait to connect and do some really great things together and enhance our HR community.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to do it. We're going to do it together. This goes live for everyone on Cyber Monday, but if you join before then, you will be able to get in the room. And we've got a QR code for you to take a look at where you can empower your HR skills. You can sign up. There's a 2-month trial. We typically will offer a 1-month trial, but for Cyber Monday, you get 2 months. You get to finish the year strong with HRU, build new connections, relationships, and, be a part of the community. So we want to see you there. Hope to see you there. And if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out. Click the links in the description of this video, and we're happy to answer any questions you might have. So make sure that you join us, get your 2-month free trial, tell a friend, share it amongst your community. And we've got some great events planned that I didn't even have in the recording today, but we have them in the room when you join. So come join and see some of our events and participate in the community. See you there. Bye, Maria.
Bye.